Now we're gonna have the next session, development of registers based on the EU standards. And the moderator of this session will be Oleg Burba, head of interoperability component. This should have happened. And I thought about participants to this session. So, and now we have a lineup of absolutely amazing speakers. The next to join us, Natalia Kalienichenko, Deputy Head of the State Tax Office for Digital Development, Digital Transformations and Digitalization of the State Tax Office. Okay, Natalia, thank you. The next speaker is Yehor Razohrieiev, General Manager of the Directorate for the Digital Transformation of the Digital Office, Minister of Justice. The next speaker is the one that is back from another session. That is Kateryna Chernohorenko, Deputy Head in Defense. So, Minister of Defense, Chief Digital Transformation Officer, Oleksandr Zakusylo, Director of the Directorate of Electronic Registers, Ministry of Digital Transformation. Wonderful. What we can observe is absolutely amazing things. We collected quite a lot of interesting questions regarding Trombita. This session is gonna be a record. You're welcome to join us at that. This is you know, something of a simultaneous dance that I was expecting here. That was a joke. So good. This is session number 3. All right. Greetings. I have a hope that probably your appetite was not too good over the coffee break, and you didn't overeat, so that it will be enough for today to have this session and then another session, not to overeat. We will speak about key takeaways on digitalization in Ukraine, and we will speak to the speakers now, and we'll get back to achievements, primarily about our key accomplishments for the previous 4 years. We made an attempt and helped to the ministries, the Ministry of Digital Transformation as our key beneficiary to develop the system of electronic registers in Ukraine. One of such accomplishments in Ukraine, and at that probably we do not have quite a direct relation, but at least some relative relation to it, is that participation in the development of a breakthrough law of European pattern on the public registers. In its nature, this law is harmonized with the EU norm, and it has some novelties that gives us some pride to state that such law functions in Ukraine. And there are a number of moments, such as, let's say, the basic register, the system of electronic registers, and those that read the law can understand the role of such a law in the life of the digital state, our state. And one of our tasks was to streamline, not without the assistance of the Ministry of Digital Transformation, to assess the quality of e-registers. First, we explored what the requirement and assessment of e-registers implied. We made an attempt to assess it by some quantity indicators. As experience, we were guided by the experience of Estonia. We were guided by some methodology that was supported by our stakeholders, and jointly with our ambassadors and close partners in our work of digitalization, with the involvement of the tax office, the state migration office, and other state authorities, we assessed the quality of 5 key registers. That's the registry of private entrepreneurs, then the uniform demographical registry, the first tax office, the first tax register belongs to the tax office, the second to the migration office, and the third was the register of legal entities, and the register of civic acts, and the state register of ownership rights for property. So the results were absolutely great. Everyone liked it, and I have a hope that we will continuously do it. So, and as the final noted, taking into consideration all of the outcomes that we received due to the assessment of this data, we developed a roadmap of e-registries. The majority of the present had the possibility to take part in a workshop that we led, and we discussed throughout such a workshop this roadmap. And one of key issues that was raising and examination while scrutinizing this roadmap, those tasks and measures which the executive authorities in Ukraine should undertake to maximum approximate the Ukrainian registries to these EU norms that will enable integration of Ukraine to a uniform digital space of the European Union, so that we could be confident that afterwards Ukraine will become not only a candidate to the EU member states stateship, but also Ukraine will become eventually the EU member state. So that we supported the development of e-registries, and we launched the e-engine. And within the framework of the project, we supported the development of the concept for the electronic registries. And we ensured deployment and development of this e-registers based on these platforms. Everyone could hear Yuri's input during the previous sessions, and we ensured that interoperability of the registries would function well. So Yuri secured that the safety was ensured, and we also implemented the system. How did we arrange that? We supported the state authorities with the state registries in terms of developing services with orientation at the client. So those were client-oriented services, so that the data could raise, but not people could raise in this exchange. So this means that this involved financing of the European Union, where the European Union played the role of a donor. And as regards to the development of electronic registries, within the framework of the project, we worked together with the Ministry of Health of Ukraine, the National Health Service of Ukraine, as regards to the stabilization and the security of data in the public health. So, and it was SOS approach, and jointly with the ministries, we also systematized the entries on the civic acts, and we also helped to develop a system of archives for such data. So jointly with the Ministry of Justice, we continuously keep the records so that no paperwork remains. And somewhere in the middle, we could spot sort of Obrig component. Obrig component was something new, since before we never worked with defense. It was some challenge for us, and it was both organizational and bureaucratical issue to work with. And twice we made an attempt to upgrade the registry of soldiers, this which were committed to service to Ukraine. And jointly with the Ministry of Justice, we approached again the upgrade and came closer to upgrade of the executive enforcement system, so that the data could raise, for not the people exchanging data. So, and I cannot recall now whether someone mentioned before it or not that we had a standalone task regarding the uniform register of addresses. We actively took part in bringing into life this plan, and the Ministry of Digital Transformation was a flagship authority in this respect, and it beared key responsibility for these endeavors. And at exit, we received an interface of a program that is built on the basis of Inspire, that's the European standard, and interoperability was ensured so that the EU rules could work smoothly. So, and the results that we achieved in the development of the electronic registers shows quite fantastic figures. So probably they mean quite a lot to us. 4 years of joint work, we implemented collaborative projects on the basis of Trumpeta. For 4 years of joint work, we managed to support development of 58 web services for 66 web clients. And probably this doesn't mean that much, but again, we assess how much time is required per one person. If 1 to 4 contacts are required to settle down one task for one person in eMalyatko, some other platform, we help general public to enjoy common services. And in this list, you will find the list of these registries that we are actively working with and have been working with. So it goes without doubt that the results achieved were absolutely fantastic, and I will not have any fear saying that our project was sort of a moving force for Trumpeta, and thanks to the effort of our team, beneficiary, and our partners, we will continuously move forward with this. Now to continue our talks and discussions, the question raised will be very simple. So I wanted to know how the results that we could track on slides, how we approach the registries, how we responded at each separate challenge while developing spot solutions. So how did it impact your authority? Natalia, your input, please. Tax authority. Oleg, thank you very much. Thank you for an opportunity that we are all enjoying here. Thank you for a possibility to take part in this event. Probably one of the services that ensures quite a large volume of requests is that we are going forward to establishment of a uniform registry of private entrepreneurs, and this is probably one of the services that all of us will need. And speaking about this program, it's indeed crucial for everyone. Back in 2020, Trumpeta was initiated. It seems like it was yesterday, but life takes a toll. And Trumpeta was our little child, and it was our little step ahead. And well, probably I will dwell on the following accomplishments more. What was initially important is that it wasn't only important for us to digitalize everything, but also to get rid of paperless, of paperwork, sorry, to make it paperless, absolutely. And our aim was to organize services so that all the data which are available in terms of the registry of entrepreneurs will enable to join and integrate all these users which are available across Ukraine. So we will receive not bad results. Probably this will not be 3 out of 3 users in our system. We have, by uniqueness of this platform, 3 out of 3 when we calculate voting in respect of support of this platform. So we can see that some positions will lag behind while qualifying the ratings. And it's clear that the tax service is not always capable to cater to the needs of the general public. Speaking about the assessment, while the tax office made an attempt to exchange data with other authorities, there was a problem in formatting data. Someone said that they could do it in Excel files. Someone else could not do that. If someone submits data on paper, it's absolutely great, since it's about data protection on paper. But when it gets about service services based on Trumpita. When you want to verify tax number of taxpayer, you can go to the tax environment of Trumpita. You can work and you can sign in this application everything that's required, and this is also vital to us. And that I would like to get back to quality. That was our first step, and afterwards we initiated, after the full-scale invasion, new approaches to the system, and starting with the 1st of February 2022 through May 2022, we were committed to assessment, and the second step was a verification of registries. Over this period, we verified 400 million entries in registries. This is the Register of Civic Acts, the Register of the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Ownership Rights for Property, Real Estate, and also registers of the Ministry of Health. This is, quite a valid work. It's thorough work, and it gives outcomes. It yields results, and at that we share information from our registries, and later we receive quality data from our registries. And when you enter e-cabinet of taxpayer, then you will see bad data to tax office, which are submitted to tax office. So, and at times such data can be submitted without numbers, and that's a bad thing and a big issue to settle also. So in 2023, we approach this system through Trumpita that allows systematization and helps us to work through 500 million of entries that we scrutinize. So probably Trumpita is a powerful platform that could be quite a lot. On the 22nd of February 2022, it could be 150 measurement units per second, and this is indeed a high result. And Trumpita 2.0 is something that we wanted to see live. So it's something vibrant, and that's something that we and our users would like to see as tangible. So today, through the project, we have 600 requests and 58 services on Trumpita. We are developing, and I would like to extend my compliments to absolutely all the participants, since while raising about one little bolt in this huge engine, in this absolutely powerful machinery, we will confirm that it's the data that raise, not the people that raise exchanging data. So when you recall how Mikhail Fedorov shown 5 billion for 4 years as outcome, while Trumpita has been functioning industrially, and out of this Trumpita services, 2 services fall on tax service. So the question will remain the same, and probably the Ministry of Justice had more systems, more registries, quite different, slightly different, probably quite different, slightly different systems. So what about your registries in quantity? How many systems, registries did you touch upon? So on our part, huge work was done. And I would like to say that probably I will need to dwell on trans. That's a huge piece of work, and the scope of data that temporarily stays in the temporarily occupied territories are being destroyed gradually, and there is a possibility to store them thanks to such an archive. This is an absolutely huge number of books, old books, that we continuously scan, and we add the entries into our archive as well. So, and over the recent 6 months, we also accumulated quite a number of interactions, and And thank you very much for your support. It's not only about modernization, it's also about the number of events and measures that we undertook over this year. So thank you very much indeed. And I have a hope that our cooperation will be even more fruitful in the future. Thank you, Yehor, for your input. Well, probably you're absolutely right saying that there are some registries that we haven't yet touched. And speaking about the Ministry of Justice and NAIST, this another agency that focused on first three registries which were piloted, and when we could hear that this is something that can be in use, we moved forward to the tax office and the migration office, and that we will switch to Kateryna. Kateryna, what about Oleg? Anything interesting about it? Dear friends, thank you very much for an opportunity to stay open with you. Well, it's a great honor that probably Ukraine enjoys such a possibility as to deploy such a project as GAP and Imalatko. And Maria Deniz were the first people that were leading me by a hand to the world of interoperability and digital services. And what you do, your expertise and your dedication to the matter is something that absolutely amazes me. And I would like to say that no matter how difficult the architecture appears to be, how complex the system emerges, yet we manage to handle it all, and there are lots of things to do ahead of us as a state. The Ministry of Defense does as follows. So we inherit the culture of digital transformations. We have inherited the digital accomplishments, and we would like to implement quite a lot of novelties, both in defense and those that have nothing to do with defense, digital as well. So I work with our basic registry, that's the Uniform State Registry of soldiers, this which will be mobilized, and the top three accomplishments that Oleg mentioned includes our registry as well. About 4 years ago, when I was working at the Ministry of Digital Transformations, the work with the Defense Registry started, and today this is the first registry that generates data. It's not complementary to other data. It generates data for the state registry of the Border Guard Service of Ukraine, and it provides a possibility to verify validity of the documents submitted by the Ukrainian citizens in terms of the soldiers' commitment, and check the respective entries in the state database. So we have also such a system as Army Plus that will be a standalone registry for soldiers, and it will become key for the soldiers to access digital equipment and arms. Digital arms that will be the first ID document that will be brought into life through the respective app, and it will be a uniform registry of soldiers, and that we would not like to stop. We dwell on an ambitious goal for us, that is to set up a register of soldiers that will also make a list of allow us to make a list of veterans, and this way we will reinforce one area after another. And I would like to thank the State Tax Office for matchmaking of data, for matching data, for verifying, validating this data, that together with the Ministry of Justice, we as well could verify the data of the Ukrainian citizens, both men and women. We are by 88% we managed to do a compliance check. And that's a fun of the ceiling of our wishes It's evident that it's the data that should raise fund on the people exchanging data, and when we raise questions regarding verifying names, age, only 2 clicks, and here is the answer. So that allows the system of state registries in Ukraine, and we're gonna move forward ahead with that for the soldiers, and continuously we advocate to our honorable donors and partners so that Army Plus should be the next challenge for the Ministry of Defense, for the General Staff, and we should do that. So, speaking about the plans, I would like to mention briefly that we're gonna develop an infrastructure, and the Ministry of Defense probably has a huge challenge from the point of sensitivity of data and from the point of making this data all around the world traditionally quite proper from the point of data protection, and we also move ahead to achieve the modern level of data protection. And at the previous panel we mentioned this earlier. So, and today we also move forward so that to be able to be higher on this ladder of achievements. And if you have some questions, you are more than welcome. Yes, we have some questions. So it is sort of some spa procedure, you know, relaxation procedure when we comment on the current achievements. So that is a sort of metaphor on the part of the speaker. So, and that I would like to say that any work in terms of norming or standardizing some work is very good when it's planned ahead. And in such a work, it's essential to receive expertise and assistance where input from experts is required. So, and it's indeed vital that all the time when the project was with us, the European project IGA helped us, and we received such an interesting document that was shaped as a roadmap suggesting a system of electronic registers in Ukraine. And we can see it quite a quality piece of work, and we will take it into consideration while developing a system of new e-registries. And the projects of registries and interoperability are quite close. They go hand in hand, and this is one and the same patchwork that helps to build quite a strong state. And thanks to the IGA project for everything. So you were very laconic. So Kateryna, we've got some questions. One of the questions raised is why do we need some separate app for soldiers? Didn't you expect to have such an app within DIA platform? So evident that this question arose, and jointly with our partners, we agreed that it would be great to have a standalone app with a number of diversified services where there will be additional data protection measures will be foreseen, and that is the reason why there should be some separate app that will become key to the system of military apps. And one of our governing principles is to be a reliable partner for all front-end players, and to become a state of super applications. And we will now make digital military ID, and at the front end there will be some military records for those who have military documents. And speaking about Army Plus, so that is another endeavor where we are going to go. So, and speaking about the exchanges, when we united Oberik with other systems, Oberik, after integration, started to work perfectly with all other systems, and this is the case where Trombita is in use to ensure provision of fund not citizen to government but G2G services. And another question that remained, will the upgrade of Trembita impact up to level 2.0 and do the state authorities need to update this platform? Alexander, I will make an attempt to respond myself, so if you don't mind, of course. And you will correct me if I'm wrong. Good. So at that, I would like to mention that it should be noiseless for our users, the state authorities. Technical cooperation is for some time something that is required to be able to switch from one system to another. And if we carefully listen to the report of Yuri, one of the issues is implementation of European cryptographics into Trembita. And probably it will not be a success story if to approach it just one time as a one-time hit. At that, we aim at minimizing resources involved. Speaking about the complementary component, probably my answer is no, since from the point of technical resourcefulness, I should say that no specific requirements will emerge when it goes about implementation of Trembit. And the third question, that's where I will answer slightly later. And now I'm going to show you the response on the screen. So, and probably you had some success studies, some case studies, success stories in implementation of Trembita in your organizations. Natalia, what about you, tax office? Did you have some not funny but interesting scenes in implementation of success stories? Probably it's not a funny case with the tax office, not funny for everyone, in fact. That's also a joke. Probably if the tax office makes laugh of it, it can be funny for the tax offices, but for the taxpayers it's not something funny. So one of the amusing scenes is that the dream is to have no paper at all, and that means that there is no common sense in making laugh of it. There is no common sense in keeping anything in hard copies. So, and today in India we can even expect success even in saving budget money in the wartime. If before the service centers had up to 500,000 visits, and there could be some pauses in between visits, and all in all we could receive up to 10 million visits. So this means that this is quite a success story today, that this is an option where data erase instead of people who used to erase exchanging documents, and people do not have to spend or waste their money. And it's all about the services where reach is essential from the point of data exchange and the receiving of subsidies, where before to the tax office we could receive up to 2 million people simultaneously all at one and the same time. But today no one visits the tax office, and it's indeed very good not to have a crowd within our premises, and this is a huge result already, so we're glad to have it. So we believe that we will be able to achieve the level where no one will be aware where the tax office is located and why to go there to pay taxes, since DIA is the only instrument to enable that. So DIA today is a platform that will accumulate lots of information so that no one would migrate anywhere else. So Yehor, your turn, please. Probably, as well as my colleagues, we do not have any funny cases. So, but you had such funny cases like marriages or something. Yes, you're absolutely right. And the four of us, as Mikhail announced, we have lots of services which are related with the DIA platform, and there will be some funny cases, some gay cases, joyful cases ahead of us. But Probably they will be in multiple numbers, but most probably I will not be wrong saying that there will be no unsuccessful stories. All the stories that we support are success stories, and probably I have a wish to illustrate our practice with some success stories, but I don't want to go ahead of time. With time, I will be able to tell you more. So let's live and see what time brings in. So, and your turn, please. Kateryna, once again, just to reiterate, I would like to thank everyone. We need to go ahead, and the magics that you did and the services that you generated for the general public is something absolutely fantastic. It's something incredible, absolutely. And I can yet recall the services we used to have the address of state authorities, and now we support the proactive service without any excessive requests. We promote the services, and I guess that you can be proud of your team and you can move ahead even faster. Great, thank you. So we have some more questions ahead of us. How to protect data from fraudsters? Who will answer that? Oleksandr, please. The floor is yours. So the data in registries are secured safely. That's my hope. And I believe that this is quite a general issue. And the majority of registries that function today in the Ukrainian system are the informative and communicative tools. And that's where the state using these registries or the owners of these systems should implement and control some rules in terms of cybersecurity and information security. And this is the reason where complex of measures should be undertaken. But in this system there is a person that is accountable for the data security, and probably I will call upon everyone in Ukraine, I mean the citizens of Ukraine, to track data privacy and not to share your data with the third or some suspicious persons. Thanks to our colleagues from the Ministry of Digital Transformation, we have DIA platform where there are some learning roles where you can observe some practices which can be learning by doing from the point of protection from frauds and fraudsters. And that you can also see that the majority of the measures and action that the fraudsters attack us with, they trace the owner of data. That is why it's necessary to secure safe privacy. So, and keep safe, stay healthy, and observe privacy. All right, I will add a couple of comments saying that the tax office throughout 2023 passed questionnaires conducted by the OECD. So, and I can confidently confirm that Ukraine passed and it received positive outcomes, and we can exchange data with other EU countries now. Great. Colleagues, we had another issue at that. So could you please signal how much time and money did Trombita save for the Ukrainian? Kate, was it you who was the author of this question? Could you please show on screen these two slides? So we made calculation. The total is for not in euro but in hryvnia. So our account in hryvnia made as follows. So I will stand up and I will comment briefly on this outcome. So what we did was assessing all the services available on Trombita. We started with the Imalatka, then all services up to 14 services, and then drugs and something else. So he forgot what type of services, other services complementary to that, they took into the sampling to assess. But after assessment, they finally approached how many services per one measurement unit were used. So to be frank, how to put it in a proper way. The older the service is, the better the vision is, the development and approach to developing the services on Trumpita. You have Malatka around 150 exchanges to receive one data, and it's clear that one service will be embedded in one service, and let's say it's one exchange, and this means that the figures were as follows. One exchange in Trumpita costs 3.58 Ukrainian hryvnia. Unfortunately, it's not €1 yet, but we're moving ahead yet to be able to come closer to €1. And for 5 billion exchanges, we saved even on 1 cent. So this means that we didn't make calculations for the savings for the tax office and for other state authorities, but that was savings for the general public. 5 billion exchanges was equal to 18 billion Ukrainian hryvnia. Where did they spend this money? The spendings went for the benefit of the soldiers, and it saved up to 7,700 tons of CO. This means then one exchange in Trumpita saves 5 minutes and 40 seconds. This means 59,000 years. Probably there are some services that will save more, let's say e-registration, meaning residence registration, that can save even more. But 59,000 years was the saving for the Ukrainian. How did they use this timeline? Probably they were learning something, they did some studies while were watching TV, and speaking about the ecological impact, how much the ecological impact of an ecological impact could have been evaluated. So speaking about CO emissions, this amounted to 7,700 tons. And that one exchange amounted to 1.54 grams of CO. So that is the picture that we can depict at the moment, and that is a short outline of our achievements, and with time probably we will have other indicators, but we will not be able to achieve these calculations without input of our partners. Thanks to our partners at the current stage now in this, which are our stage as well. Thanks to our beneficiaries, so that they believe in us, so that they like working with us, and we like working with them as well. So being this optimistic, I would like to bring to an end this session, and believe in Ukraine, believe in the soldiers of Ukraine, and glory to Ukraine.